So we only got a couple days left of summer. The
Yes,
official
sir.
end date for summer is September 21st. The first day of fall is September 22nd. And the year is almost over. So we want to talk a bit about goals. What goals should you have for the fall? What should your goals be for the fall? So Dre, you can spark it, and then I'll go after.
Yeah, so the weather's changing, right? We're getting into the fall, and I feel that okay, you had your summer goals, you may have met them, you may not have met them, whatever. Now it's time to think about the fall goals. And to me, fall goals really just mean how you want to be for your new year, right? We know New Year's going to be coming up soon. And so now is
Yes.
the time because we got, well, September's almost over, but half of September, October, November, December, right? That's 3 solid months. 3 solid months, you can see a change. Maybe not necessarily drastic, but enough where you could be like, oh man, this fits better, or this muscle is bigger, or whatever. So now, as we get into fall, what we really need to be thinking about is how do you want to look for New Year's Day? You know what I'm saying? How your New Year's want to look. Or in your case, because I know your birthday is coming up, you might be saying, how do I want to look on my birthday? You know what I'm saying? When I be like, yo, it's my birthday. What's the goal that I'm gonna look for? So now we
Right.
got 3 solid months. Now that's what we should be thinking about. So for some people, that might mean, hey, you know what? I still need to lose X amount of fat. Okay, so
Right.
let's get a program that's going to address that. For some cats, it might be like, yo, I'm trying to get a little bit more muscular. I don't have the muscle that I need. Man, three
Right.
months is a good way to really get into a, a strength training program where at the end of that 3 months, you can see some good results. So
Right.
I feel like that's the way you need to be looking at it right now. Right now, your goals should be shifting. Summer is over, that's done. And now you're looking at fall, and fall meaning New Year's. How do you want to look for that brand new year um, when it starts? Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I think that that's a great way to look at it. Uh, and then I'll respond about personally. So I think it's a great way to look at it. Yeah, the end of the year is coming. Now is the time to get your goals together, get your plan together. So January 1st or December 31st, however you like to look at it, by the end of the year, the beginning of the new year, you can say, I checked off a few things. I checked off whatever it is that you want. You can go down the checklist. I'm eating better. I've lost some weight. I've gained some muscle. Whatever it is. And also, as we always say, be realistic. If we're talking about 3.5 months from now, you're probably not going to lose 150 pounds in 3.5 months. You're not. It's probably not going to happen. Now, if you said, just like we've said here before, if you said, hey, I want to gain a pound of muscle every month. Okay, that's doable. But you're probably not going to gain 20 pounds of muscle a month from now till January 1st. So this is a good way of looking at it. It's actually the way I'm looking at it, and we've spoke about this off pod. Uh, so we record on Tuesday, Wednesday, tomorrow. I'll be done with my tattoo healing. My 6 weeks is up. And so the way I'm looking at it now is from the middle of September until the middle of February, and I'll explain why in a second, to the middle of February, I'm going to try my best to lock in, train hard, and reach some goals. The reason February is because, as I've said here already, in other episodes, February will mark my 10-year anniversary in fitness. I started fitness, I was 350 pounds, and that's Dre's favorite part. I weighed like 350 or something close to that. And in 2013, I signed up for Planet Fitness and started linking up with Dre and our Yoda, Jesus, and I started working out. So I'm trying to look a certain way by February. And that means I've got to lock in and start beginning that plan now. So that's personally what I'm trying to do. My goal is kind of the same stuff I've been saying. But my number one goal is to be consistent. Why consistent? Because that's been my problem. I have not been consistent. So my number one goal is to show up every day. That's my number one goal. Be consistent from now until basically Valentine's Day. That's my goal. Okay, so that's the number one goal. The number two goal for me personally is to lose body fat. I want to bring my body fat percentage down as much as possible. And my number three goal is to gain muscle. I want to be stronger. I want to work on my endurance training so that way I can be slim and cut. That's the goal. But I know my biggest problem is not going to the gym or even the eating. My biggest problem is being consistent, eating right regularly, going to the gym regularly. Those are the two things that I have struggled with, and that's why consistency is my number one goal. So, yeah, I totally agree. And that's actually the mindset I am transitioning into. That's what I've been preparing myself for the last couple days. Okay, time to lock it in, time to act like we're back in lockdown, time to really, really, really get it popping. So that way
Okay.
I can hit my goals in February. Go
Okay.
ahead, Dre.
So I was gonna just ask. So can you lay out your game plan? Say how are you going to be consistent? How are you going to get stronger? And how are you going to I know you don't have that much time, but how are you going to hit
No, no,
the
I got
fat
time. I'm
reduction
good.
goals? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is prioritize. I have a lot of things that I do, and often I find in the past I've been like, well, I'm going to do a ton of shit, and then I'll go to the gym, or and then I'll go for a run. No longer. I will be going to work out as soon as I get off of work in the morning. Either I'll go for my run or I'll hit the weights. If I can't do both, the priority will be the cardio, either
Mm,
hitting the elliptical or hitting the treadmill to bring down that body fat. That's the goal. So I figure if I get off of work and immediately knock it out, I'm done for the day. I have no way of worrying. I have no way of missing it. I have nothing to worry about. I've got in there. I've done what I need to do. So that's how I'm going to do it. I have two gyms in the areas I am in the morning, one not far from my job and one not far from my house. So it should be easy for me to squeeze into a Planet Fitness uh, on the way home. So that's my plan for getting the body weight down, getting the body fat down.
for the
As far as
consistency, yeah.
muscle, right, with the consistency. As far as muscle, when I go to the gym, the plan is to do half my time there on the weights and the machines, not just do cardio. And so, yeah, of course, I'm going to prioritize the cardio, but the plan is to also get in there and do the weights. I would like to get in there for an hour every morning, do my weights, and then do my cardio and go on about my day. So that is my plan from now till February. Um, and that's the quick version. I hope that that answered the question. If not,
Yeah.
I'm cool with answering more questions.
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. I just wanted to, yeah, that's cool. I just wanted to hear, you know, your plan of attack, as it
Oh
were.
yeah, I mean the plan is to work out 5 days a week. The quick version, my plan is 5 days a week. I should be in there getting it popping. So if I can hit cardio and weights 5 days a week, I mean honestly, I should be on my way.
Right.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
No doubt. That's what's up.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like those that's a good way of looking at it. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted you to be a little bit candid because I know other people, they hear that and it just sounds too, ambiguous. And
mhm.
sometimes if it's too ambiguous and it doesn't sound like a plan, then you can't execute it because it's just kind of
Right,
like floating in the air. You know what I mean?
right.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's good. And one of my things, which I've said plenty of times here, is the sugar. I know if I'm going to be working out and I'm going to be consistent, then I also need to be consistent with diet. And honestly, my diet's not bad. I just consume a lot of sugar. So I need to bring the sugar down. And so I know for the next couple months, I need to be having sugary stuff way less. It needs to come down to a minimum. So that's part of the plan as well, which is probably going to be my biggest struggle, honestly. I don't
Yeah.
have a problem saying it. I know I want something sweet every day.
Yeah.
So not having sweets is gonna probably be my biggest challenge. That's probably gonna be harder than getting in the gym. That's probably gonna be harder than hitting the weights. So that's the one I'm more worried about. If I go after work, it's not hard. It's just about energy levels.
Yeah.
When I'm off work in the morning, if I have like a really rough night at work, then yeah, it might be harder to hit the weights and the cardio, but I'll be there and I'll be getting stuff done regardless. Now the sugar, that's the challenge for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's addictive. It's a challenge for everybody. And sugar is highly addictive. It's made to be addictive. It's made
Right.
specifically for you to want it every day, every hour, just constantly
Yeah.
thinking about it. So we know that, you got to treat it like any other drug and just be like, yo, I know this is addictive. So I need to limit this as much as possible.
Yes, sir.
Um, I think for me, it's the same. Well, for me, it's I not having a problem with strength training. Like I'm addicted to strength training. I love strength training. I see the results from me doing strength training. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. So for me, it's just maintaining that. But the things that I'm struggling with is the cardio,
Okay.
um, because I tend to put, just like yourself or other people, I tend to put other things before it. And so I got to get better with my planning. You know what I mean? I got to really say that, okay, how is tomorrow going to look? Like if I
Right.
plan my tomorrow, then that cardio will be in there. But if I just kind of just wake up and say, okay, let me see what I need to do, check this email, check that email, check this out, check that out, before I know it, the day then went by and I didn't get my cardio in. As I said on this podcast, weeks and weeks ago, cardio right now is my priority over muscle building, which means doesn't mean that I'm not building muscle anymore. It means that it's just not my priority. So I could skip a day of not strength training. I'm fine with that. I don't want to skip days of cardio. I want to get as many cardio days in as possible. That's why, I got my bike repaired, and that's why I'm like commuting to work and just finding all these little places where I could get cardio in. And so I know for me, it's like, man, if I don't plan it, it's easy for me to slip and days go by and I'm like, man, I didn't get any cardio in.
Right.
And the other thing is diet, where because I'm not trying to lose muscle, I gotta be getting protein in. I don't want to skip meals. So it's nothing wrong with fasting and all that for those people who want to do that. But for me, if I'm saying I want to maintain my muscle, or I don't want to lose that much muscle, I need to be getting protein in. So skipping meals is a no-no for me. I don't feel good if I skip the meal because that's an opportunity that my body could have had to build muscle through protein synthesis. And it's like 6-8 hours go by and I didn't have that. It's like, that's not a good deal.
Right.
So I don't want to skip meals. And so that's the thing I'm also working on, because I think we all do it. You get so busy and all these other things start to come and you start to put yourself last,
Yep.
not immediately. It's like, okay, well, I'll do this and then I'll do me. Well, okay, I'll do this and then I'll do. Okay, I'll do this and this and then I'll do. Okay, wait, I'll do this,
Right.
and this, then I'll
Right.
do me. And then you
Right.
just keep putting everything else first before you. And that's something that I struggle with, because it's like, man, I don't like that. And
Right.
then I'm not a friendly dude when I become like that. People are like, oh, you got an attitude, and it's nothing about them. It's more like, yo, I don't like the fact that I didn't hit my personal goals for the day. That's one of the reasons why I like to start my day at the gym,
Right.
because I feel like personal goal met. Now I
Right.
could I could rock out with any other goal, things
Right.
that people are paying me for, things that I'm interested in, whatever. I'll do those other things, but when I start the day, sort of like paying myself through health and nutrition, I feel good. So those are the things that I have to do. I have to say, okay, Dre, and some of you might feel this way. You might have to do this too. This is why I'm mentioning it. Plan out your day, and that might mean your activities as well as your diet. What are you going to eat today? If you kind of leave it to the last minute, when you leave it to the last minute, you make poor dietary choices, right? But if I know I went shopping and I got this and this and this, and if I pre-made my meals, I'm not getting off that diet. I know at this time I'm gonna eat this, then I'm gonna wait 4 hours later, I'm gonna eat this, then 4 hours later, I'm gonna eat that, and then I'm done eating for the day. But if I'm just kind of running around, I'm like, oh man, well, the quarter pounder's on sale. I might as well just get one
Right.
of those. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, man, now I'm off my diet and I can feel it. I don't feel that energy that I wanted. So, you know, if you're like me, and I feel like a lot of people is, making those last minute decisions doesn't help. Plan your days out, and that means both your diet and your activities, and you'll be well on your way to meeting your goals.
No, that's great advice. And I agree. Even if you can't plan down to the letter, plan as
Yeah,
much as possible. Maybe
yeah,
you have a meeting, you're not sure how long that meeting is going to go. And so you can plan around those things. But yeah, every time you can't plan down to the minute, I struggle with that too, where it's like, well, I've got to edit these 3 podcasts. I have no idea how long that's going to take me.
right,
So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put things in a certain way where I can move around. All right, yeah, I'll edit pod number 1, then do a task that's not pod related. Stuff like that. I think it's a
right.
good way, at least loosely planning. You can say, hey, I have kind of an outline of my day because I know,
Yes.
yeah, realistically, you're busy, your job might not be just a regular 9 to 5, maybe you're a parent. There's a lot of different things that you might be juggling, and I'm juggling a lot, so I totally understand anyone who heard what Dre said and was like, I can't do that shit, you're crazy. You can plan as much as you can plan.
Right.
If you can't plan down to the exact letter, the exact meal, the exact everything, that's okay. But putting together an outline, it can be very helpful because oh yeah, I said I was going to go to the gym in the morning. Okay, well, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I've got to get to the gym before morning is over. I said
Right.
I was going to make a smoothie for breakfast. Maybe you don't know exactly what the smoothie is. Maybe you didn't make it last night, but it's time to make a smoothie. And so you have a way of kind of planning things out for the day, and it gives you sort of a schedule to follow, even if that's loose. And
Yeah.
that's another way you can do it.
Right. Yeah. And I think you hit it on the head because it's like we have these, domestic duties, whether it's rearing
Yeah,
or doing your laundry or washing these dishes and all that. And
right,
so, yeah, that needs to be in the plan. Those are activities too. So you may not be able to plan it, minute for minute, second for second, but you can, as you say, make the outline and say, okay. And I'm not the type of person to be like, I'm gonna do 20 things in a day because I know that's not realistic. I keep it
right,
incredibly realistic where it's like, okay, what are my priorities and what are the things that I need to do? It might be 3 or 4 things where it's like, okay, these are the things I'm doing today. There's other stuff that I need to do, but I'm not doing it today. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, these things I'm gonna do. Yes, there's a lot more stuff that I need to do. I'm not gonna overburden myself. I'm not gonna overburden my plate. If I know there's 3 main things I'm gonna do, those are the 3 main things I'm gonna do. And that
right,
might be like some household stuff. I gotta go food shopping. I gotta do these things at work, and then I'm gonna hit that gym.
right.
Simple. That's it. I'm not adding any more. What you got to be careful of is, other people like to add things in for you. People, that's the first
Always.
thing people love to do. Oh, so what are you doing? And you might get into the habit of laundry listing what you're doing. I'm gonna do this, this, and this. Oh yeah, that's good. So after you do that, then how about you do this, and then you do this, and then you could pick me up, and you'd be like, whoa,
Right,
no.
right,
Like you just
right,
added on stuff to my. After you asked me what I had to do, you felt that there's room in there for me to do other stuff. Nah, I'm not doing that.
right,
You know what I'm saying? So, definitely gotta be protective of your time because if you don't do that, then people just feel like, yeah, you're sort of like like a pushover in a sense when it comes to your schedule. I could just
right.
like insert other things because now, you know, um, they feel like that's not important. So many times I got to tell people like I don't like my gym time is like therapy. My gym time is like me going to church or whatever people feel is important nowadays. I don't know, but it's like
Right.
I have to do. I don't not do that because of whatever. It's like I need to do that. I'm going to do it.
Right.
So don't insert some other thing into what what my schedule is. And then I also stop telling people what my schedule is. I know what it is. Well,
Right.
you got to do that. I got a lot of stuff.
Mad shit. I'm super booked and busy, like the internet likes to say.
You know what I mean? I keep it ambiguous. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do. That's it.
Yeah,
what are you
mad shit
doing?
to do.
Work.
Right.
Work. That's what I'm doing.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones too. People are like, yo, but what you doing when you get home after work? More work. Mad work. Pod work. Artist work. Business work. Human work. You know what I'm
Human work. I was waiting for it. I was like, if he don't say it, I'll say it.
saying?
Human work.
Human
That's
work.
that's what I'm doing. Do a lot of human work.
A lot of human work. You know what I'm saying? All right, that's it. I'm out of here, man.